Hello, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner. Any of those you want to call me, you can. This is the first time I'm filming in almost a week, so I kind of forgot how to, but here I am. I'm on day 7 of my blowout, so it's not looking very good. I'm gonna wash my hair tonight. I think this is the longest I've ever gone without wetting my hair since I was like a kid. So don't look at it, don't look at me. You should just be looking at the palettes because I'm doing my No Pan Left Behind update. This is the 11th update and there's only one more month of this project after this. I will leave the series linked in the description box, and oh, here's my gingerbread house pillow. I will leave the series linked in the description box and at the end of the video. See, I can't remember what I'm saying. But this is basically a project. This is not new. I didn't create this, but I wanted to touch every pan in my collection for eyeshadow palettes in the year of 2024. And I split everything up between months, and every month I give myself that calendar month to, except for one exception, which is this time, which I'll talk about, but I give myself that calendar month to use all of the pans and the palettes for that month. And I've been successful so far, and I have my last 5 untouched palettes going in for December for the year. I have used all of these palettes before, but for 2024 I haven't used them yet. Any palettes, sorry about her. As I was saying, I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, any new palettes that I've acquired in 2024 I've rolled into other projects so that I did use them, no pan left behind, at least in some way. So by the end of this year, hopefully I hit my goal because my schedule has changed this past week, which is why I'm looking and sounding crazy. But hopefully by the end of the year, I will have used every single pan of eyeshadow from all of my eyeshadow palettes at least once, which is a feat because at least right now in this moment, I have over 64 palettes. I have about 70 eyeshadow palettes. Anyway, I'm just gonna get started with the actual update. So I'll start with what is on my eyes. Now this is my final use for the Gemini palette, Melt Cosmetics Gemini, which was in my November rotation. So technically I didn't finish using this palette in November, but I mean, I'm filming this now anyway, so it kind of like, it's okay. But yeah, technically I didn't entirely meet my goal for November, but here we are. I finally used all 5 of last month's palettes. These are the ones that I used in November. So I'll just talk about the Gemini first. I have to take it out of the sleeve. This is, again, for a recap, a refresh, this is what it looks like. I'm currently wearing these 5 eyeshadows on my eyes. I'm wearing these 4 on my lids, and then this black, I did like a winged liner just with this, where is it? I still have all my makeup in front of me because I forgot to put it away. Using this like eyeshadow brush. I don't like doing winged liner with okay, she's going away because she can't follow directions. I think personifying inanimate objects might be a sign of psychosis. This gingerbread pillow is my Wilson, basically. Anyway, I don't really like doing like my own winged eyeliner with my eyeshadow because it just never turns out very good, especially on this eye was like okay, but this eye it was just like a mess and it did not look good at all. I don't know how some people do it. Like every which way I've tried, I have not been able to successfully do winged liner with an eyeshadow pan and eyeshadow brush. Basically, you know what I'm saying. I'm not good at it, so I did it because I had to, because I needed to use the shade, but I don't really like the way that came out. The rest of the look I really do like, but I really did struggle with these 2 deep green shades, and I think I had a problem with one of them the first time I used this palette as well. I can't remember which one it is, but one of them, because I was kind of using them interchangeably because they're pretty much the same depth and almost the same shade. which I feel like is a color story flaw. But anyway, one of them is patchy. So I was having a little bit of trouble building up my outer corner. But once I got the look finished, I really do like the way it came out, and I think it's really pretty. The same with when I used these 5 shades. This one was just a lid setting shade for me, and then the other 4 I used actually on my lid. They kind of like, these shades kind of just all blend together, so it took a lot of building to make things stand out, and then even then they kind of just look like a color gradient, but like it looked like you kind of just took the same shade and just lightened it out a bit. So again, that's a little, none of them were patchy. I didn't have any issues with these. That is again a little bit of a color story flaw in my opinion. I still love this palette. I still love the shade selection. I think I wouldn't use this palette in the way that I did for this project because I was trying to use as many shades as possible in each look. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't do that, so I wouldn't run into that problem of using these shades necessarily. But I do still think because I ran into that problem, that is an issue. You shouldn't have shades so close together in like depth and color. Also, there are only 2 metallics. I'm okay with that, again, like I said, but like they probably could have swapped out 1 or 2 mattes for another metallic. So that's all I'm gonna say about this Gemini palette. I still really love it, don't get me wrong, and I'm so glad I have it. And I always feel beautiful in the looks that I do with this palette, like especially today. I love my greens, and it was an excuse to wear like one of my favorite green sweaters. So the Melt Gemini is done. Next, I'll talk about, let me talk about my Thanksgiving palette, which is the Pat McGrath Bronze Ambition. This is just that 6-pan, like pretty much mostly warm tone palette. So here it is. I use this in 2 different looks. So the first look that I use this with, you can actually see in my Friendsgiving Get Ready With Me tag created by DW from Dub's Beauty Diary. Please check us out because it was just a fun little tag. So you can see the look that I did there. I used it in combination with the Ambiance eyeshadow palette from Sigma, and then the other 4 shades I used, actually I'll show you the exact, actually no, maybe I won't show you the exact picture that I used because that's a little awkward, and also I don't want anyone like reverse Google searching, but I'll show you a picture of the other look that I did with this palette because I ended up using it for my work like badge picture for my new job that I just started this week. So that was fun. I literally did orange eyeshadow for my work ID. The palette that I used on actual Thanksgiving Day is my Pat McGrath, I never remember what this is called, the Eye Ecstasy Sublime eyeshadow palette. It's just this, one of those like plastic little palettes that she used to have, which is like pretty much my favorite Pat McGrath palette ever. I used this deep brown, it's like almost black, it's so deep, this deep brown, plus this like cranberry gold shift shade in my Cranberry Makeup Get Ready With Me, which I'll also link below. It was in that video that I discovered this as a duochrome because I never knew it had a gold shift, but it's so pretty. Like when I look at it right now from this angle, I only see the gold. It's so cool. And then on Thanksgiving Day, I used again my Ambiance palette, and then I used this taupey shade. So I kind of just did like a cooler neutral look. And then I used these 2 other shades in other looks that you will see on the screen. I really enjoyed using this palette. The only thing I would say that it is lacking is like a transition shade, but I wouldn't want to get rid of any of the shades that are already in this palette, so I'm very happy with this. Then I have my Golden Hour palette, and I'll be honest, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful and I didn't even want to take it off. Sorry about the glare. These shimmer shades, like I thought they were just gonna be like regular, like, because you know how there's a creamy shimmer formula and then there's like a dry shimmer formula. Dose of Colors has the drier formula, so I didn't think there was going to be anything super special about these shades, but these shimmers are like the sparkliest shimmer shades I've ever used from any like non-indie brand. And this might technically, Dose of Colors might technically be an indie brand. I can't remember if they are or not, but they're like a bigger brand for indie if they are, because they've been at like Ulta, you know, they're like pretty well known, I would say. But like I feel like most brands that do like those super sparkly like ethereal shades are like the online only like hand pressed indie brands. And these two shades, especially this like main lid shade, this deeper golden one, it was just so beautiful and it felt so pretty in the look, especially combined with like the mattes that just blend so nicely. I did have to reach into my Ambiance palette again for a primer, eyeshadow primer setting shade, but other than that I exclusively use these mattes and they're just so beautiful. They blend so nicely, so like just a beautiful blend on my eyes. And then these super sparkly shimmer shades, it was probably like my favorite look that I've done all month. Even though it was so basic and super easy, it was just so beautiful. I felt so good, and I think I paired it with a red lip as well, so I was just feeling like extra bold and glamorous, and I just really loved it. I think that specific look that I did would have been perfect for like a Christmas look, like a warm cozy Christmas look with a red lip. Beautiful. I realized I could literally just swatch these for you, so I'm gonna try to like, I should have dimmed the lights, but oh, let me actually do that. I'm not sure if this helped at all. If you can like, okay, there, you can kind of see the sparkle a little bit. It's not really doing it justice, but even like this, the swatches look so pretty and smooth. Like smooth, but still like super sparkly and pretty. Okay, back to normal lighting. The final palette is my Morphe Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals palette. This is the one that I brought with me, with myself. I'm losing words right now because I still don't have a brain. Yeah, I brought this palette on vacation, not vacation, but while I was out of town for 3 days in November. I saw Les Miserables. People keep telling me you don't pronounce the last half of the word, so Les Miserables. I saw it like live and I wore this palette. I thought it was such a pretty look, and I also got not as sparkly as the Golden Hour palette, but I got like a very sparkly look from the shade. I think I paired Striptease and Birthday Suit in that look, and it was actually very sparkly. I was surprised when I like went into the bathroom after I finished my makeup and I saw just like how sparkly my eyes were. I felt very pretty in that look as well, but also like I didn't stick out too much because it was still a neutral look, because I always feel a little self-conscious when I do like super bold looks and I'm going to like very fancy things. It's imposter syndrome and it shouldn't happen, but I just really liked all the looks that I did with this palette. I used this as an inner corner highlight. These two shades, I could take them or leave them. I don't really need them in this palette, but I did get a use out of this as an inner corner highlight. I think I must have like set my lid with that shade, and all in all, I just like using this palette and like combining the shades together. I think all the shades combine very nicely. They're all pretty together. I think this is a very well curated palette and I really enjoy having it. And I actually didn't get any hard pan this time using it, so that was definitely a plus, because usually I do get hard pan in Morphe metallics and shimmers very easily, but maybe because I was like only using my finger with them this time, I don't know, it doesn't really matter in this video, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm going to talk about the palettes that I'm rolling in for December. I'm very excited. These are the last 5 palettes that I have to use this year. The first one is my final Kaja Bento. This is in the shade Mauve Bouquet. This was the first one of these that I bought. I have 3 now. But this is kind of like the OG. I first discovered these bentos from, or I didn't discover them from her, but I was kind of convinced to buy specifically this one from Shelly, from Unapologetically Shelly. Shout out to her, I miss her. But she had this palette in her old new Gifted Blue project pan, and she just made this look so beautiful, so I just like kind of immediately bought it after I saw it in her video. Oh, let me take these other swatches off. They're so sparkly. Look at how much sparkle is still on my hand. I don't know if you can even see that, but yeah, it definitely doesn't look as good on me as it did on her, but I still really like having this palette for like a pink leaning purple mauve look. It's really pretty, and of course it's super simple and easy because it's just only 3 shades. Here's what it looks like swatched out. I'm definitely going to be able to use this in just one use. Then I have a quad, my other Pat McGrath quad. This is the Celestial Odyssey in Deep Space Divinity. So this is what it looks like. I'm trying not to give a glare, but it's just 4 shades. I possibly could use this in one look, but what I'll most likely do is pair these two and then these two together. I got a tiny bit of the gold shade in this swatch, but this is what it looks like. It is so pretty. I love using all of my Pat McGrath. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't pay Pat McGrath prices if I didn't. But like something about the quads, they're just like, I feel like each shade, even if it's not a special shade, is special to me. I just love them so much, and I'm excited to use this. There's a bus right outside my window. And I have my final Dose of Colors palette of the year, which is my Smoky Soiree. This was the first Dose of Colors palette I ever used, and this was in the first like reel I ever did. It was the eyeshadow palette tag, and in that tag I said that this was my favorite, like my new favorite palette. I just thought these shades were so pretty, and at the time for me they were also so unique. I pretty much only had neutrals in my collection, so this was like such a fun palette for me. I really didn't think I'd be swatching everything, but these are all like smaller palette, so I feel like I kind of have to. Do you see how smooth this shade is? This also might be the same shade as the one that's in the She's a 10 palette. I'm just realizing that now. It could be. They like will put the same shades into different palettes and then call them something else, but it's literally the exact same shade. So, but I love that shade anyway, and I'm not mad about it at all. This is so beautiful. Like, oh, this as a lid topper, I'm so excited. Like, you don't understand. I'm so excited to use this palette. I don't think I've used this palette since 2022. So I'm just super excited. I'm excited for all of these. I also have my Nabla Wild Berry Cutie palette. This, I guess this is the 5th one. It says number 5 on here. I have only ever used this once for one shade, so technically I've used it, but not really. It was using Alchemy 2.0 as an inner corner highlight. I'm gonna try to swatch onto my right hand using my left hand, so these are not going to look pretty. This is what the palette looks like. I think this one is definitely gonna stain my eyes because it stained my finger for sure, but I'm in love with this palette. I mean, like, look at that shade. That's the one that I use in my inner corner. It is so pretty, and I love like a duochrome, multi-chrome inner corner, like an iridescent one. I love an iridescent inner corner, and I'm so excited to use this like in its entirety and kind of just learn about the palette. I've had it for, I would say, about 2 years now. Finally, I have Wild Child, and I'm not gonna swatch this because first, my fingers are already stained. All of them are. And this is just like a basic neutral palette. You've seen this before if you've kept up with my That's So 2000s project. And there are only 7 out of the original 9 shades left in here. I decluttered the pressed glitter and the matte with glitter. This may as well be a 6-pan palette though, because these 2 shades are like, they're the exact same depth. One is a metallic, one's a matte, but I would use them in the exact same way. So it may as well be a 6 pan palette, but I've already talked about this, so I'm not gonna keep complaining. There's also like randomly a warm tone in here, but the other shades that are in here I think are really beautiful. Of course, they blend very well. I must just get like only the well-formulated ColourPop palettes. I keep hearing that like it's hit or miss, but I've always been perfectly fine with the quality of the ColourPop palettes that I've had. Maybe because I don't have any like blue or purple palettes from ColourPop, and I feel like those are the hardest colors to formulate. But anyway, I would be very happy to just like only have these shades in this palette, and I'm excited to use this. I think this one will probably be the first one that I end up using because I'm at work most days and I have no problem wearing color at work, but because I'm new, I don't want to scare everyone. I need to like make friends and then I can start looking a little crazy at work. So this one will probably be the first one that I use because it's just neutrals. But that is everything I have for you for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really hoping I can get through all these palettes because even though they are all like smaller palettes, like the one with the most shades is only 7 shades. I still also have to use my Pat McGrath Mothership and my Old New Gifted Blue. I still have my Project Level Up palette, and then I still have 4 days out of the week where I have to go into work. So we'll just see what happens. I mean, I'm very happy with this project anyway. I've really enjoyed it, and I'll probably save all my final thoughts for my finale next month. But spoiler, I'm like very satisfied with my use on all my palettes, and I'm very happy I did this project. So either way, I'll be happy and satisfied. But I am really hoping that I hit my goal, just so I can say I hit my goal every month. But we'll just have to wait and see. So make sure to stay tuned for that video coming probably at the very end of the month. It might be my last video of the year, but I will see you then. I'll see you in my next video too, but until then, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.